Hello, we're back again. This is week 10, and let's take a look at what it says on our assignment sheet. This week we are dedicating to NCAT, and to me it is one of those really amazing untold stories. For a long time it was a very big story, and now it has sort of receded into the background, even though all of the elements that make it a big story are still there. So your job, should you choose to accept it during this week's study, is to examine NCAT and see what else you can find. I've got some, I think, pretty good introductory material there. But see what you can find in terms of its, well, these are some of the learning objectives. How significant is it? The reluctance of many institutions to leverage the findings. What they basically have proven again and again at junior colleges, at major institutions like Penn State, Virginia Tech, many other significant institutions, that they can save very large amounts of money while increasing the importance of these courses to students, that the students learn more and they are also enjoy them more. I mean, it sounds too good to be true, and yet it is true, and I've suggested that there are some things about it that might possibly be troublesome to managers. The topics, the methodologies, you can look those over yourself. The Emporium model, Virginia Tech is a famous example of that. For well over a decade, they have been taking advantage of the fact that quite a few of these courses, introductory courses in math, statistics, some engineering disciplines, are just as easily transmitted to a student by a combination of really good software and the availability of instructors, not only graduate student instructors, but also faculty members right there in the Emporium building. It's an old warehouse building with thousands of computers, and it's open around the clock. Very interesting approach. So why hasn't this gone viral? That's the question I pose to you this week. See if you can figure it out. My sense of it is that since most of the savings seem to be in personnel, and that is teaching personnel, that's not a real popular way to present something in a university environment. I live in a university environment. I'm part of that. So I think that may be why that's the case. Now here's the assignment, the actual assignment for this week. And there are a couple of them that are, I mean, each one of them is just, I think the first one, the one called Half-Learned Lessons, even though it's quite old, I think it gives you a sense of the heyday of NCAT. It was written in 2009, I believe, quite extensive description of it, and basically says, here's what it can do. Nobody seems to doubt that it can produce these results. And then when you get to the one about how to redesign a college course, most of this is NCAT material. And the last one, Academic Productivity Decisions, that's by Carol Twigg, and she basically says, look, here are lots of examples. I say 35% on this one, 35% on this other one, and they tend to pick courses that are very popular, so if you make savings, the savings can be very large. My estimate is that if the cost of all education, this is an education that nobody agrees with me on, but let me throw it out there for you to consider, at least this week, that if the cost of higher education is around $500 billion a year, that it might be possible to save maybe 20 billion. That's a big amount. 20 billion overall. It costs like $1 billion to run all of George Mason, so 20 billion in overall savings by using this NCAT approach. Students would learn more. They would be able to take these courses in a more, they would like the courses better. I mean, it just sounds too good to be true, and yet it seems that it is true. So I'll leave it to you to decide. I'm not, obviously, if I were right about that, then there would be more people doing it. But check it out. I think you'll find it fascinating. I hope you find a lot of interesting things that I haven't included, because I'm a little bit concerned that there's not nearly as much discussion about this approach anymore as there used to be once. So that's your job this week. I hope you find it useful and interesting to check out the NCAT approach and decide on your own whether it meets the needs that you feel are significant. I'm just going to take you to one of these. This is the last one that I mentioned. This is the one where she talks about academic productivity, decisions, and she says, does it work on all things? She said, well, pick the discipline. So in this particular part of it, she says, we got humanities, math, natural sciences, no problem there. Is it low cost versus high cost of the original course? In other words, is it an unfair example? And then she gives examples. Arizona State, Pittsburgh, a lot of other schools. And then she says, is it the type of institution? Some think it may be the type. And she says, a 2-year versus 4-year seems to work okay for 4 years as well as for 2 years. So I think that you'll find that that kind of reasoning is hard to refute, and nobody seems to want to refute it. It's almost like damning with faint praise. So I hope you enjoy this. It should be fun and interesting, and I wish you the best in the course. Everybody's doing very well. Thank you for that. And if you get a chance, if you're at the end, if you're still listening at the end of this one, I'm putting out there a proposed 1-semester internship, most of which would get done before the end of February. So if anybody's interested in that, you don't ever need to show up in my office. It can be done completely offline. See if you're interested in it. I'll be putting that up on our website. Thanks again. Bye.